Hey y'all, it's Joelle Dyanne. Thanks so much for tuning in to Do or Dyanne. Today I'm going to show you how I recycled my knotless braids and transformed them into this Faux Loc Bob, which is bomb AF if I do say so myself. Like, not to toot my own horn or anything, but in addition to showing you how to create the faux locks, I'm also just going to walk you through how to properly wash and prep your braids prior to wrapping them up. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy, and I will see you next time. So at this point, I had my knotless braids in for about 4.5 weeks, which for me is an accomplishment because I typically don't let my protective styles last that long. I get really bored really easily, and I don't like it when it gets fuzzy at all. So I decided to transform these into a Faux Loc Bob. So I began by cutting the knotless braids to the desired length, not only to lessen the hassle during washing, but also so I could see what it would look like and decide if I just want to take them out before I even spent the time on this style. As you can see, by this point I was feeling the look, so it was definitely a go. But it's also really important to remember that you have hair under these braids. So check to make sure you're not cutting your hair while cutting the braids, which can be kind of difficult, especially if your hair is like a perfect match to the color of your braids. And deep down, I knew my hair wasn't this long, but I had a moment where I thought I cut it, and I swore I saw little fuzzies in the end of it. So just be careful. For this wash, I used the Creme of Nature Clay and Charcoal Shampoo and Conditioner, which in addition to clay and charcoal has aloe vera juice for moisture. I also used Aunt Jackie's Coco Wash, which is a coconut milk-based conditioning cleanser. Then to deep condition, I used the Shea Moisture High Porosity Moisture Correct Mask, which I found out about from Jalen Mitchell. So thank you, girl. And the Main Choice Mango and Passion Fruit Mask. So I don't know about y'all, but when I mix things, it works. So I'm gonna keep doing it. All right.
1 hour later.
When doing faux locks, it's really important to remember that you're wrapping your hair inside of other hair. So I don't personally think it's a good idea to wrap soaking wet braids inside, just to avoid mold or anything else. So I took the time to blow dry my braids prior to starting the style. But it's also important to remember that your hair is still susceptible to heat damage. So be sure to use a heat protectant while blow drying. I used the Motions Heat Styled leave-in conditioner, which I like to use when I do any normal blowout or when I have leave out for my weaves. I don't know if anybody's ever seen the videos where somebody's taking out a weave and the braids are all molded and your hair falls out. And I bet it won't be me. So if you don't want that to happen to you, or you want to preserve your curls while you have this style, try to use as little direct heat as possible, and be sure to use a heat protectant, because it's not really a protective style if you're not taking all the precautions to protect your real hair.
1 weekend of pampering later.
So I can't even hold y'all. This style took forever, probably about 13 hours in the 2 sittings. So it's the perfect quarantine and chill style. But I also went and got my nails done, and there's about 90 faux locks in my head, so it's understandable. But I did make sure to moisturize under each faux lock with a few different products. So first, I put on the OK Anti-Frizz Detangling Hair Smoothie. which I've been using lately for my wash and goes, and I really do like it. It holds a lot of moisture in my hair. I then used Miss Jessie's leave-in condition, which to me has more of an oily consistency, so I definitely want to trap those oils in there. And then I put a little dab of the Main Choice Fresh Mango and Passion Fruit Mask, which I referenced earlier, on as a leave-in conditioner. And lastly, used Aunt Jackie's Seal It Up Hydrating Butter, which I used during my wash and goes to seal in all the moisture at the end. Then you will need a crochet needle as well as spring twist hair or passion twist hair stretched out. I personally used the Yibo brand, which I found on Amazon, and it was 4 packs for under $30, so I will definitely share the link below. I have the color 1B and used less than the 4 packs on this style. When moisturizing, it's really important that you spread the product the entire length of the braid, especially if you're like me and you can't really tell where your hair is ending on every braid. It's also really important that you're massaging it all the way through in order to penetrate the areas of your hair that are tucked in. Now you take your pre-stretched spring twist hair and pull it through with the crochet needle using the end that is least separated. Next, take some edge control, lay down them baby hairs, lay down all the new growth that you had from your knotless braids, and begin to twist around both the braid and the end that you pulled through with the stretched hair. I'm going to demonstrate to you all before I do the next faux lock how to separate the hair. And honestly, that's the part that blew me the most because it's so time consuming and you have to do it for every single faux lock. So just prepare yourself for that to kind of be the hardest part of the entire process. So in the past, when I've had faux locks, some people have either used like glue or burnt the ends. I didn't want to do that, and I actually saw a technique used by Winnie Jean. I'm not sure if I'm doing it correctly, but this is my variation of it. So as you approach the end of the faux lock, once you get to the length you want, you start twisting the end. So that can either be combined with the braid under or just the faux lock hair. And then you'll wrap it back up to make almost a tight loop at the bottom. And then make sure you're securing it tightly and you start wrapping back up the faux lock until you get to a comfortable space where you will then tie a knot in it instead of burning or gluing it down. I've kind of zoomed in a little bit so that you all can see how I tie the knot, and you should be able to see that again on the next faux lock demonstration. Separating spring twist hair, it's a little bit more difficult than passion twist because it's a little bit of a kinkier texture. So there are some knots that you will have to get through. I personally found that it was easier to start at one end and work your way towards the middle, then flip it to the other end and do the same. In some areas you will have to unravel or untwist it before you can separate it, as you will see in the video. But just play around with it. If you need to, take a paddle brush, brush it out. It's okay if it gets big because you want it to have that fluffy consistency. I'd also recommend doing a few pieces at a time so you don't have to stop in between every faux lock. Now you'll repeat the same process, hooking the hair through with the crochet needle, laying down your roots with edge control, and beginning to wrap your way down the braid. You'll also notice I'm restretching some of the areas as I go down because they may have retwisted or knotted up. And you do this so that you can get more coverage out of the hair. So to go over this again, once you get to the bottom, you're going to start two-strand twisting the hair. For me, it started to turn into a finger coil because it got it a little bit tighter. Then you want to secure the end by creating a loop. So you'll loop the hair back up, hold it tightly, and start twisting the extra hair back in the opposite direction to secure it. Here you can see a little bit of my braid sticking out. And that's perfectly fine because you're wrapping that still within the faux loc as you go back up. When tying the knot, I found it easiest to wrap the hair around 2 fingers and pull it through, as you'll see demonstrated here. And it's super important to try to double knot it because you don't want that single knot to slip and the faux loc unravel. Some of them I even triple knotted it. So depending how small your fingers are and how much hair you left out, you can knot it as many times as you like. And then whatever's left over, you can either wrap around or just take scissors and cut it off. Absolutely love how these came out, and every second of that 13 hours was worth it. This is a super low maintenance hairstyle. I've been able to work out and it's comfortable sleeping while we are self-isolated. So if there's any other hairstyles you'd like to see in the near future, maybe over the next month, because who knows how long we will be in the house, drop it in the comment section below, or anything else you'd like to see while we are quarantined. Also, I am new to the YouTube thing, so if you have any suggestions, comments, concerns, or encouragement, please drop those in the comments below as well. Until next time, I hope everybody stays safe, stays healthy, wash your hands, stay in the house. It's really do or die out here, so see you next time.